how far can a small 360 camera really go? With the Insta360 X5, we found ourselves asking that exact question. As people who work with cameras, we're always chasing the same thing, closing the gap between what we see and what the camera records. On paper, the X5 feels almost too ambitious. But after a few days of shooting in different conditions, we started to wonder if it was doing something different. With a bigger sensor balancing skies and shadows, smarter low light that feels natural, and a firmware update that unlocks what feels like new tech, this little camera became far more interesting than we expected. And today, we're breaking down everything the X5 does best, the things that just might make you wonder too. The second we pick it up, it feels different. Compact, but a bit heavier than it looks, yet very palm-friendly. At 200 grams, it carries that dense, serious vibe, almost like it's telling us it can handle anything we throw at it. And then the screen, finally, a tall 2.5-inch display that gives us room to actually see what we're doing. Menus no longer feel cramped, swiping through settings is smooth, and the whole interaction feels more thought out. Durability is where Insta quietly flexes. Its lens is coated with an ultra-hard optical film that doubles drop resistance from the last model. You can toss it in a bag with keys, clip it against a railing, no hesitation. It barely shows signs of wear. And this little steel mesh here is the new wind guard. It might look simple, but it does a good job blocking wind. But the killer move? This one? The replacement lens kit. The lenses themselves are fully replaceable. With the kit, you can do it yourself, right at home, and it's pretty easy. The process is quick, the tools are included, and the fresh lens locks in with the same optical quality as the original. And the waterproofing? It's rated to 15 meters, which, compared to some of the latest 360 cams like the Osmo 360, goes 5 meters deeper. Now here's where things get wild. As of mid-2025, Insta360 has kept dropping updates for the X5, and it honestly feels like the camera keeps evolving in our hands. The first feature that really jumps out is adaptive tone. Normally, you point the camera at a sunset or a bright city street, and you either blow out the sky or lose detail in the shadows. By enabling adaptive tone, the X5 reads each lens separately and records extra lighting information so it can balance everything later. We tried it on a golden hour walk, and for once the clip came out perfectly. The sky stayed rich and alive, while the streets kept all their detail. It's like having smart HDR baked in after you shoot. And it doesn't stop there. PureVideo finally works in single lens mode. On the software side, the whole workflow feels snappier. The Insta360 app ditched the endless scroll. The album page is now a grid, so you see more files at once with bigger, smarter thumbnails pulled straight from the highlights of your clips. Finding the right shot takes seconds, and if you're new to reframing, you can just tap the new perspective options. Lock it to forward view, flip it into selfie, or let AI frame automatically pick the best angles as the action changes. And when you want to get hands-on, there's a new record tool where you literally move your phone around like a window into the 360 shot. With Auto Edit, you can cut the whole thing for you with transitions, effects, and music in just a couple of taps. On desktop, the Studio app now lets you scrub through 360 clips before opening them, so you know exactly what's inside without waiting for it to load. Then there's Insta360 Plus, the new cloud platform. You get 2 terabytes of automatic backup, and you can share interactive 360 videos instantly. Just send a link, and anyone can spin it around in a browser. And speaking of tailoring features, Insta360 is leaning hard into specific communities. For riders, immersive shake is brilliant. It keeps some of the natural wobble of a bike or off-road trail so your footage doesn't feel overly smoothed. And there's the automatic license plate blur. It takes the hassle out of blurring plates in post, which makes on-road shoots and bike vlogging way easier. Now to the core of any action cam, image quality. It uses a dual 1x1.28-inch sensor. That's a big leap from the X4's smaller chips. That means more light, sharper details, and stronger low-light performance. Shooting 8K 360 degrees at 30 frames per second is insane. And yes, that 8K is full spherical capture. You can reframe later and export up to 4K flat, and Insta360 even super samples from 11K down to 8K for insane clarity. And it has 3 AI chips, meaning the footage is among the best-looking 360 video available. Colors and contrast are strong. With 13.5 stops of dynamic range, it holds onto highlights beautifully. On a bright day, you can see the sky retains nice contrast and doesn't wash out the highlights. Delivers a much bluer, richer sky tone. Impressive! It also offers a 5.7K 60 frames per second active HDR mode. That's a mouthful, but basically it means it captures high frame rate and uses smart HDR to balance dark shadows and bright highlights. You can also use the X5 as a regular action cam too. There's a single lens mode that shoots up to 4K 60, which is first-person POV. It even has a max view setting at 4K 30 that stretches the view to 170 degrees wide. So you're not just locked into 360-degree shots. Just pop into single lens mode for that classic GoPro-style forward view. And still photos? Huge! 72 megapixels of full sphere detail. You get every angle in insane detail. Snap a shot, then step back into it later. It's like freezing an entire scene in time. Let's get into how it sees through low light. Spec-wise, the sensors are paired with the new AI-powered PureVideo processing mode for clean night footage. Indoors and at dusk, results were impressive. Grain is significantly reduced. They did well with the specialized algorithms that merge multiple frames to cut noise. Footage is much cleaner in the darkness. Shadows had detail, colors weren't muddy, and the overall vibe was way ahead of the usual noisy soup we expect from 360 cams. Stabilization is the one thing Insta360 can't afford to mess up, and the X5 nails it. Flow state is back, and it's still wild. Footage stays buttery smooth whether we're bombing down a mountain trail or sprinting with it in hand. For riders, there's the immersive shake. Instead of flattening everything, it keeps just enough of the bumps so bikes or off-road clips feel alive, not sterile. You watch it once and you get it. It looks real, like you're actually hanging on while the road rattles underneath. Mounting couldn't be easier. Standard tripod threads, magnetic mounts, poles, it's all here. But the trick that never gets old is the invisible selfie stick. Point it out and then watch it vanish in the footage. What you're left with is a floating, drone-like shot, except there's no drone buzzing overhead. Twist to shoot is one of our favorite little moves. You just flick the selfie stick back and forth twice, and boom, you're recording. Do it again, and it stops. Then there's gesture control. Throw up a hand signal and the camera knows to start rolling. And Voice Control 2.0 is also great, which finally feels smart enough to understand you in noisy spots, and suddenly filming hands-free doesn't just sound cool, it actually works. Now audio. The built-in mics actually deserve credit this time. There's a new steel mesh up front that blocks wind far better than older models. Out in the park, with gusts hitting hard, we expected messy distortion, but the X5 kept the sound steady and surprisingly usable. But if you want pro-level sound, that's where Mic Air comes in. It's feather light, about the size of a coin, and it snaps onto your shirt with a magnet or clip. No bulky pack, no cables, and it connects straight to the X5. No receiver dangling off your camera. This thing is no slouch. Stock battery is 2,400 milliamp hours, good for about 93 minutes at 8K 30. If you switch to lower frame rates or endurance mode, you get much more. With the latest firmware, 8K endurance mode stretches to about 115 minutes, and 5.7K endurance up to 208 minutes. That's about a 54% bump from the X4, which means a solid 2 to 3 hours of real shooting, before you even think about swapping. And if you need more, Insta's got the 2,800 milliamp hour Ultra battery. Charging is fast too. With a USB PD 30-watt charger, the X5 hits 80% in about 20 minutes, and 100% in just 35 minutes. That hyper-fast charging means you can grab a coffee and be back filming in no time. Of course, all this performance begs the question, what's the investment? The X5 sits in a premium 360 camera range, but Insta360 has carved out options for different needs. Out of the box, the standard X5 costs around $550, and you can customize your kit according to your needs. So what's the takeaway? Well, we found the X5 solid, adventure-ready, and continuously evolving. Compared to some other 360 cams out there like DJI's Osmo 360, X5 quietly pulls ahead in almost every practical way. It feels like it was designed for anything and keeps getting better with every firmware update. We're genuinely impressed, and honestly, it's the kind of 360 cam that might just replace several other devices in our kit. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts on this in the comments. If it helped, give it a like and subscribe for more camera news and reviews.